to play double-digit minutes.
Nice reach in by Seck. Nice steal by Seck. Nice crossover by Seck. And a good scoop by Birima Seck to make it a 13-point game. 29-16. Stack
side. All right. There's the steal. Fan favorite, Birima Seck with a Euro step. And everybody liked it. Except the guys in blue.
And Hargrove.
Throws by Hurley. Reek gets 3 of his own.
And Coach Casey said, I'm going to give you one chance. And what's happening is he is seizing that chance, that opportunity.
This was a team in Fairfield that was shooting 25% from 3 heading into the game. Shot altered inside. Great defensive hustle there by Birima Seck.
And Kyle Jenkins not available tonight for the Stags again. He's dealing with knee soreness. He's day-to-day.
Well, Bob, here I am talking about how this Fairfield team is not a great move by Seck right there. I'm talking about this Fairfield team, and the scouting report says Jameer Stewart can shoot the 3. Well, the defense came out on Stewart, and he did a little hesitation and made the scoring pass on the drive.
And Birima Seck set up very nicely, and he scores a couple.
You know, and here's Seck, who we both love. He's a great kid. He plays hard. There's a block, known for his defensive effort. But, Bob, we've seen in practice, he's starting to improve a little bit on the offensive end.
That would be a great boost for the Stags if his offensive game should come into focus, as Dion Perry had a foot on the line.
Jim Miller's squad will be back at the Ryan Center on Friday as they host Holy Cross in the second game of this season. Tip-off is right here on ESPN Plus at 7 p.m. if you can't make it. But if you can make it in person, visit GoRody.com for tickets. Birima Seck puts that 2 up and through for his.
Sure that they, just as I said before, take their time, have good pace, but make sure they get the right shot every time.
Mack dumping it down low, and that pass probably was not the one he wanted to throw. Had his man too far underneath the basket to begin with. The pick and roll and a driving shot for Seck.
Really good.
As you said, this Fairfield team has 8 returning players. Those 8 returning players all played 25 or more games last year, so these guys have played together. That's going to be a foul call on Alif Noah.
I think what Chris Casey has seen on film is the ability, not just because they've got a lot of freshmen, but in this case, understanding Alif Noah is a guy that they can go after. And so that time it worked for them. He got 2 at the line. You know, you see there in the replay that he's playing more with his hands.
Chris Casey's been in this game a long time.
Yeah, he's a guy that's coached a lot of games at a lot of levels, been a head coach and assistant, been in the Big East, but at St. John's as an assistant head
Kyle Jenkins not available tonight for the Stags again. He's dealing with knee soreness. He's day-to-day.
Well, Bob, here I am talking about how this Fairfield team is not a great move by Seck right there. I'm talking about this Fairfield team. Well, the defense came out on Stewart, and he did a little hesitation and made the scoring pass on the drive.
And Birima Seck set up very nicely, and he scores a couple.
You know, and here's Seck, who we both love. He's a great kid. He plays hard. There's a block, known for his defensive effort. But, Bob, we've seen in practice, he's starting to improve a little bit on the offensive end.
That would be a great boost for the Stags if his offensive game should come into focus, as Dion Perry had a foot on the line with our graphics. So we will give you that score as we move it along. 24-9, Drexel leads Fairfield. We are approaching 10 minutes to go in the half as Birima Seck soars and scores.
From the strong side wing. Okay, there's the drive. Most, if not all, passes in the paint should be. Baskets have come on the extra pass. Blakeney 10 points, 5 rebounds.
Bags down.
Bob, sometimes baskets are worth more than 2 points. Seck, who's a fan favorite, made the defensive play, made a great move. That seems to energize the fans. Let's see if it can energize the Stags themselves.
McGee, who has yet to get going scoring-wise in this game. Hargrove out of control. He turns it over. 39-30. Stags down by as many as 16. Down by 9, but Drexel gets the ball back after the Bergens foul. Stags much better at the defensive end in the second half. Shot clock's down to 8. They force the turnover, the steal, the feed for Bleachmore. The layup is good, and it's
come up with some big baskets. Has not scored a lot of points this game. That's only his 7th point, but they've been big baskets in the lane.
Prophet Johnson. He's in deep traffic. Gives it for Seck. Runway for Seck, and he hits the shot, and he is fouled. Birima Seck got whacked at the defensive end a few minutes ago. Well, it might have fired him up. Points or more. He has had 3 30-point games. Last year for Loyola, 75 3-pointers made. This guy is pure and simple a scorer. And as he continues to get acclimated to this Fairfield system, Joe, I couldn't agree with you more.
The next guy the ball is going to be passed to. When I was at Pitt, we had a great player, Jerry McCullough, always used to do that. He would hide behind the receiver, step in, and get the pass.
Seck defending well, grabs the rebound. Now the Stags.
Bleachmore with the shot clock expiring, can't hit. Rockamore had his hands on the ball, couldn't pull it in.
You want to know something, too? That Vermont is kind of trying to get acclimated to this new lineup that Fairfield has. And the reason being is because they're not on a lot of film. I mean, they're on some, but you can't really get to see and gauge what they do. And so now this might be the first time they're ever really getting to see some of these guys in action, especially in the individual situations. Ooh, big boy.
Fiorillo made the bucket, but an offensive foul. Okay.
You know it.
Okay.
That is, look at that bad boy. That's Shaq all day. I used to feel it.
Lead of 1 at 15-14. And a steal. Active hands from Fairfield.
See, Fairfield is playing at their pace. Right now, it's been tough for Vermont to keep up.
Inside to Seck. He missed the layup, but got fouled. He'll have 2 coming up after the timeout. 15-14 lead for Fairfield. Only 63 points per game.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job of defending the ball. They have a great system. You know a team is defensively minded when they're doing shell drill before the game starts and ready to go out there and do the standard.
2 from Birima Seck. Look, an uppercut and a right cross early from Yale.
Yeah, right now you see Fairfield also applying pressure full court and really making Vermont have to work, edge some time off of the shot.
To set up a new possession for the Stags. Perry thought about shooting and then gave it up to Michael Rogan. Down to 5 to shoot. Seck along the baseline, and he gets fouled. So Seck taking it to Odom, back to the free throw stripe.
Yeah, Seck did a great job on the defensive end and was rewarded offensively with a one-on-one situation against Shai Odom. And Shai Odom had no choice but to foul there. Yeah. Seck is 6'11" with great feet. I mean, he moves extremely well. Got to watch him in film one time in an open floor situation. Caught the ball right before half court, took 2 dribbles into a long Euro step from almost the free throw line and finished with great touch at the basket.
With that wingspan and that length, he can get to places in a hurry.
It had skinny Giannis vibes.
18-14. Fairfield up. Sean Blake into the game, and that ball goes out of bounds. There's so much the word culture in college basketball now. That's a winning culture.
Yeah, and you know, he's provided a system there that has also been just really good for players as far as learning how to win. And in order to do that, you have to have attention to detail. And you can definitely tell, like, when they were doing, like, shell drill in the warm-ups. Well, Vermont is more opportunistic there. If they have a fast break, they'll take it. But also, if you want to go half court, we can go there.
Long inside, got stripped out of bounds. 2 to shoot now for Vermont.
Rebounder. He's playing with a lot more confidence offensively. But for him to be effective, he's got to operate in that 15 and in area.
Bergens switched to the left hand. Seck on the rebound, and he'll go to the line to shoot too. And he likes to see FDU. He had 13 against them last year in New Jersey, and year down at FDU. That was a resounding win for the Stags. That was the game early in the season where the Stags kind of served notice what they could be from the free throw line. At the other end, Jones, deep on the right side, misfires that time. Here's Johnson up the sideline. Stags dressed in white, trimmed in red. Here is Bergens. Dion Perry. Bottled up, reset. Give and go, pick and roll, executed beautifully, and the Stags have tied the game.
Hey, Bob, Dion Perry has really struggled from the...
So that last foul on the floor, new man in the game, Jacob Warren. Big man holding up high, handing it off for Brown, who draws the double team, gets rid of it. Barbabe, Emmanuel. Now Brown has the ball poked loose, turned over. Jamie Bergens takes it all the way to the hole and draws the foul hit.
And it's 9.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, I talked to Chris about that, Chris Casey. And he said that is part of the Fairfield game plan. Inside, 8 minutes to go, and what has turned into another tight one for the Stags. Dion Perry. Here's Prophet Johnson. Bergens just hit that 3 for Fairfield. Bergens looking for his shot. Now gives it for Birima Seck in the game. In the lead, hits the 10-footer, and Fairfield has regained the lead after trailing by as many.
In again, because again, the matchup is against the big man, Ingram, who's a legitimate 5.
Zion Cruz made 1 out of 2 free throws. Cruz out of Pratt Junior College began his career at DePaul. Here's Noah Best began his career at Fairfield. There's Perry, the former 2 makes of the season from the free throw line. 21-15, the Stags lead it by 6. Approaching the midway mark of this first half. Good pass inside for Ingram, couldn't finish. Kept alive off the bounce for Rodriguez, could not finish. It goes out of bounds, and it belongs to Fairfield.
Assistant coach was a great head coach. Watch Seck here go up with one hand.
Jenkins hit a couple of free throws over that stretch, but offense in a little bit of a lull for actually both of these teams right now. And we're going to have a carry, I believe, Joe?
No, they called an offensive foul. Ingram put his head down and somehow hit Seck in the face. I don't know, with an elbow or what.
Oh, I see. That's why they said, let's take a look at it. And that is why, Joe. Now you get a look.
Yeah, you know, Kevin Baggett is screaming for the cylinder rule, which means that the offensive player, let's look at it, has to be given space. You know, it's a close call. It's a close call.
Inside, 8 minutes to go, and what has turned into another tight one for the Stags. Dion Perry. Here's Prophet Johnson. Bergens just hit that 3 for Fairfield. Bergens looking for his shot. Now gives it for Birima Seck in the game. In the lead, hits the 10th.
Look at this. Most or all of your passes to the paint should be bounce passes. It's easier for your teammate, especially your big man, to catch it. But I did a little...
The keys tonight for Chris Casey. He really wants to see his team do a better job. Defensive rebounding, Joe, he thinks there's been some slippage in that area.
Yeah, no doubt. And you're going to have to play defense on this Central, as I mentioned in my key, for a good amount of the 30 seconds.
Ostrowski with the reverse layup. McQueen Reek trying to get it going here. Nice delivery to Seck, and he flushes it through with two hands to make it a 2-point game. So Birima Seck off the bench has 4 fast points.
Yeah, just good offensive basketball. The old-fashioned pick and roll. Central defender tried to get the charge. Was no help on the roll and the dunk.
The big man.
Those Fairfield defenders. Fairfield does find an open 3 from Sparks up top. Can't finish, but Seck comes down with it, and he lays it in through contact. And Birima Seck will have a chance for a 3-point play. And you said it a few moments ago, but his offense
getting all the way to the rim. You say, how does he do it? It's just because he's got such a variety of ways to finish around the rim. I'm not going to say the Kyrie analogy is fair, but his ability to finish for a diminutive player reminds you of a guy like that.
Good feed late there from Jenkins to Seck. And Seck does the rest, and then a takeaway on the inbound.
I'll say this. This team, all right, we still got 12-plus minutes left. Couple of wins in Buffalo. I know, listen, Canisius Niagara, it's still a difficult trip. 2-0, chance to go
5-4. Quickly to the other end. Iona trying to answer back. Ball slipped out of the hands of Bundy. And then on the loose ball, there was a Fairfield foul. Let's see who they got on this one.
I think it was Prophet Johnson. There's the follow-up. There's the foul right there. Good call by the official. You know, if
I had never, as a player, but as an assistant coach, we played back here in the fall of '96. Fran Fischel was the coach.
Okay.
Very good Manhattan teams. We were a very good Monmouth team. We lost in the championship game that year. Win this game, and really offensively, did fairly even game. Both teams with 9 field goals. Both teams with a free throw. The difference is Fairfield has 4 threes and Manhattan only has 2. Hence, 2-point lead for Fairfield. Now with that free throw, a 3-point lead.
So here's Seck. Sparks. Seck, that's a problem. Easy.
Under the press, and you can dish, and this guy can dunk. Right in your living room. Got to tie one.
Spent his last 4 years playing at Conn College up in New London. Seck throws it out against Bergens. When we talk about Clark, who can score, he's the second leading scorer in the MAC, but as a facilitator, as Seck swoops in and lays it through, his ability to set people up is extraordinary. On the floor for the Warriors. Clark is up for Murray with 3 on the shot clock. 2-1 Murray has his shot blocked by Jenkins. The shot clock buzzer went off, so a foul on the aforementioned Ed Mead, his second. 11.5 to go as the pass goes inside for Bergens. He's bottled up. Here's Seck. Left-handed banker is good.
so it wasn't a high-low, but it was a penetrate dribble